In this lesson, we're going to create the nose for our character. Alright, so let's come in and let's select our character's face and go to Editable Poly. And we're going to go ahead and turn off that Show End Result. And let's go into Border Mode and we're going to cap this. And then we'll cut our topology. So we'll go to Vertex Mode, right click and cut. And whenever we start cutting this, we want to go from here in the middle of the nostril to the end of the nose, as that's a natural line that goes across that. And then I'm going to go from this vertex down and just cutting all of these into quads. Now you'll see here that we have an extra set of polygons, and what I want to do is I'm actually going to cut from here to create a triangle, and then I'll cut from here in the middle of that triangle down underneath the nose. Alright, so then I can take these vertices and I can pull those out to create a loop. And then I can take this and push it out, and you can see here that we're starting to get the shape of a nostril. Okay, so I can pull that down. And nice, neat little shape. We can start to pull in these different vertices and getting that shape of the nose. So I'm just going to redistribute these a little bit, pull those around, and you can see that shape there. Now we're not going to go highly detailed with the nose by any means. We just want to make sure that we get the rough shape. Now I'm also going to pull these vertices in to kind of start to round this out, but I just barely want to pull those in. Okay, got that shape, and we'll pull that in, and that looks good. Now at this point you can come in and you can take this polygon right here underneath, and you can do an inset, and it'll be a small inset, so make it around 0.1, and then you can use bevel or extrude, and we're going to set our bevel to 0, and then we'll take our extrude up or out into a negative direction so it creates this hole here. Okay, and then we'll take that bevel amount down to something like this, and there you go. So a very simple nose here. So we'll go to Turbo Smooth, and we've got that shape that we need for the nose. We can come in and we can do a little bit of tweaking here and there just to get the final shape of our character. And let me actually take this set of polygons here on the nostril. Let me pull those up just a little bit. Okay, go to Turbo Smooth, and there we go. So a nice little shape for a nose. We don't want to get highly detailed by any means. If you want to start coming in and creating a little bit more shape to that, you can pull these points in and you can add some more segments. But there you go. So we've finished out our nose here, and while we're here, let's go ahead and finish out or continue blocking in the back of the head here. So let's select this border here, and let's cap that. Then I'm going to go to Vertex Mode and cut these segments. Now I'm going to go from here, well actually let's go from here back to here. Okay, and then I'm going to cut from here across into this one, and then I'll cut from here to the middle of that triangle, and I'll take that and I'll pull that down. And again, I'm just trying to keep the base shape while we're here. And pull that up and pull this one up so you can see that loop coming back around, and then all I have to do at this point is add some more segments to get the rest of my shape. Let me pull this up a little bit more. Alright, so let's come in and let's start talking about what we need to do to get the rest of these segments to terminate. So I'm going to go to Edge Mode, and I'm actually going to take this edge right here and hit Control Backspace and remove that. Let's take both of these and do the same thing. And you'll notice that that becomes very angular, and that's not quite what we want in our character. We want that to be a little more round. Okay, so what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to come in, I'm going to go to my Modeling Tools, Edit, and then Swift Loop. And I'm going to create a loop right across the top, but you'll notice here that it's not allowing that to happen. So there's something going on with our loop. Let's go to vertex mode, and we're going to go ahead and select all the vertices in the face. And I'm going to hit weld on my settings. And you'll see here that it says 299 before, and then after the weld it's going to be at 295 on our vertex count. So we've got some that are overlapping in different places. Now some of these could be within this threshold. So I'm going to take this threshold down, and I'm going to go to around 0.01. I might go up a little bit higher here. And we just need to figure out exactly where these are. So let me try this one more time. Let's do a swift loop. Okay. And it's got to be on these right here. And you can see that this segment right here needs to come down. So that's why it's not cutting across. So let's take these segments, and let's go to Loops, Flow Connect, and then I'm going to go to Vertex mode and cut from here to here. I'm going to right click. There we go. So that has been finished. Go to Turbo Smooth, just kind of see what that looks like. Not too bad. Okay, so we've got all these loops here. Alright, so now we need to get a little bit more shape in this. We don't have to do too much, but we do need just a little bit more. So I'm going to come in, and I'm going to go to my Swift Loop tool. Let's hold down Shift, cut right in the middle of that one. And then I'm going to do one more right in the middle of that. Now at this point, what I can do is I can just move these vertices around. So I'm going to pull this down here, and then I'm going to take this down. I'll take the rest of these down to here, and to here. And there we go. So again, we have a little bit more smoothness across the front of the head than we do at the back of the head. But if you'll remember, we're creating a hair mesh that's going to be covering this up. So we don't necessarily have to get too far into the overall topology of that. Alright. Now there's one other thing that I want to do. We have this thin strip of polygons that go all the way across the top of the head and into the back of the head. And I really don't need all of that. I could actually get rid of that entire line right there. Now the way that I'm going to do this is I'm going to come right up here to just above the forehead, and I'm going to right click and target weld this edge to here, or that vertex to there. And then we're going to select these two edges, and we use Flow Connect just to connect that together. And that creates a loop at the top. And then I can just double click on this entire loop and delete it, or hit Control Backspace. Now I want to get rid of these polygons that are on the back of the head. There we go. And that just creates a larger set of polygons there across the back. And that's just going to be easier to work with. Now I can come in and I can redistribute these vertices. Make sure you get that vertex that was kind of out there. And I can come in and I can pull this out and reshape this a little bit. Just redistribute those polygons, or those vertices. And just trying to make these about the same size. Alright, so now one other thing that I want to do is I want to select all the polygons in the top of the head that we just created. And I want to relax those a little bit. I want the polygons to kind of spread out a little bit more and be a little bit more relaxed. So I'm going to use this Relax tool, and I'm going to take this up to about 0.5. We'll hit Enter, and that begins to relax, kind of starts to round out just a little bit more. And then I can come in and just start to tweak the overall spacing of the polygons. Okay, we should be fairly close. I'm going to take these right here and grab my scale tool and scale those in the Y, and just try to clean that up, make that nice and straight across there. I can do the same thing here. Okay, just trying to clean that up some. Grab our Move tool, and we can come in and we can start to pull these up a little bit higher, get that to give us a nice round set of polygons going across the top of the head. And there we go. Okay, so now you can select all the polygons in the head, take your smoothing group, set that to smoothing group 1 by clearing all. Go to Turbo Smooth, and you'll see that we get a very nice round shape in the head. And so we've created this, and now what we need to do is we need to create the underneath portion of the chin that's actually going to connect to the neck. So at this point, let's right-click and unhide all, and there is our neck. And we now have a destination point for all of these vertices, or all these polygons, to go into. So in the next lesson, what we're going to do is we're going to start figuring out exactly how we're going to do that, how we're going to get all of these to terminate into the neck and get that connected. So we'll start with that next.